Is that your cookie or my cookie?
Oh, you can have that cookie.
Did you even have a cookie?
No, not yet.
Then that's yours.
No, you have that. We've got a whole batch of cookies.
Okay, I'll have this cookie.
Thank you. Okay. Okay guys, welcome to the Collectania of Everything. I'm your host, as normal, Hamish Skelton, and I have with me today one Jasha Drake.
Yes, I am here,
Yep.
enjoying a nice warm glass of milk and a cookie. Thank you. This is great. We're recording in your dining room. We've never recorded here before.
I think the sound quality is going to be real bad, but
That's nice. That's
okay.
nice. I think this has been like 2 weeks since I last recorded.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
I thought we did one last weekend.
No, we did the thing 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was the last one, the thing. And then I guest starred on Final Draft talking about predestination.
Yeah, that's right.
If you guys haven't checked that out yet, check it out because it was a pretty cool conversation with them. But yeah, we're back to usual business. How have you been? How have you been
I
going?
haven't been too bad this past 2 weeks. Well, I thought it was only 1 week, but yeah. Nah, I don't think I've really been up to much. I had thought that Dark Alliance was coming out this weekend, and then was really bummed to realise that it isn't out yet. It's out in like 2 days.
And that's Dungeons and Dragons
Dark Alliance.
a new video game that we're going to be playing.
22nd of this month
Yeah.
on
This week.
Xbox Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Looking
Not
forward
a
to it.
sponsor, or not sponsored at all by any of this. It's
Imagine
just
that,
a game.
Xbox Game Pass sponsoring us. Ugh.
Yeah, so that's we normally talk about gaming a little bit, what we've been playing recently. So
There's another new
I'm just
game.
prepping for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think I've really been playing anything new lately. I haven't really been playing much. How about you? Oh, I jumped on
We played some Dead by Daylight
Dead by
together.
Daylight. Yeah, that's it.
But apart from that, that's probably like the only video game I've been playing recently.
Other than Monster Hunter.
Oh, flip, yeah. I've been playing Monster Hunter Rise heaps on my Switch with my brother.
Yeah.
Again, that we both got at the same time. We've been meaning to play together, but we've only played together
And you've
once or
just
twice.
boosted ahead of me.
Well, it's because your internet hasn't been working.
Well, we've got it working now, so
Yeah.
stay tuned for more info on that. Hopefully
Monster
I might just get you to carry me through everything then.
Sounds good. I need to level up. I got stuck in my throat. And you've been. I recommended Mythic Quest to you.
Oh,
the
yeah.
TV show which you've started.
Yeah. Been loving it so far. Still in the first season.
I'm working
Loving
through
it.
the second.
Yeah.
It's really good show about a game company. Kind of like,
Just my knuckles.
I'd say it's like The Office mixed with Community, kind of. I don't know.
Kind of. Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah, it's a good show. I've been enjoying it. I really enjoy the writing. It's really well written.
Yeah. I've been a bit obsessed with it over the past week. Yeah. So if you're looking for anything new to watch, I recommend checking that out.
Yeah. I don't know if my eating this cookie is coming through or not. Probably.
What was
Okay, it's gone.
that? Okay. So tonight's episode is on the black cat, the Canterbury Panther, or big cat, essentially.
Yeah. So this
So
is
we've
our
been
like
talking about this
Yeah.
for weeks now. I've been procrastinating for weeks. I've done minimal effort to try and get. I've got an article.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll bring the article up. It's by Stuff. That's what it's called. It's just a New Zealand
like news and article outlet.
Yeah. So you can check it out if you just search it up, and we might put the link in the description because that's basically where I'm getting most of my information from.
Yeah.
I veered off a little bit and started looking into other things because I found it kind of interesting, and I think I've probably confused myself more than anything with my own little research. So basically, when you backtrack a few episodes ago, you did one on
The Mohound Man.
the Mohound Man.
Yeah. New Zealand's Bigfoot.
Yeah. And so I mentioned, made the horrible mistake of mentioning the big cat of New Zealand, the South Island.
Which is probably our other famous cryptid, right?
Yeah, it's not really a cryptid. It's just a mystery because people are seeing, there's sightings of these that have been quite old as well. They've gone back I think the first sighting was, I've got the date here.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Scroll down. Was 1977. So it's not not as old as like the Mohound Man, but it's still, yeah, it's not even that old. But
yeah,
for us, it's old. That's a long time ago. Yeah. So where was I?
we talked about the Mohound Man.
I mentioned the big cat. And I was saying that it's not even really a cryptid. It's more of just a mystery. There's been sightings of these abnormally large cats around that area, or cat around that area. People have referred to it as being a panther, or I've got like a list of things. People have referred to it as being a panther. I think the earliest ones, Francis Clark?
Francis Clark.
Yeah. I think that's her name. Yeah. She claimed it. Well, she claimed she saw a tiger. She was like the first sighting of it. She claimed she saw a tiger. And other people have referred to it as being kind of like a puma or a cougar, I think. It is kind of strange how the first sightings of it seemed to be. People were like saying the first person who saw it basically said it was a tiger, and there were that seemed to be the belief at the time. I'll go through the article, because, to like make
Because I don't know anything about these. I heard that we've had some sightings of big cats that shouldn't be roaming around the place. But that's...
Well, the first time I heard it, I think I thought people were saying it was like a panther.
Yeah, that's what I assumed as well.
Yeah, and like my first thought was like, maybe this is like some, maybe this is some kind of cryptid, because like maybe this is something that's meant to be extinct and not really seen. Because the thing is, if this is a creature that lives on New Zealand, has lived on New Zealand for a long time throughout history, then that's quite a big deal for New Zealand, because just because if you know anything about New Zealand's wildlife, we
don't have any big cats native.
Our native wildlife mainly consists of birds and like lizards and stuff. Mainly birds, and we have one. If I'm pretty sure, I'm like 90% sure on this, that we only have one native like land mammal, and that's a small bat. So everything else that's been brought to New Zealand that's a mammal isn't native. Everything else that's a mammal on New Zealand has been introduced, and often they cause a lot of issues. Like we have possums over here now that are a pest, and cats as well. Wild cats running around in the
very true, to strays.
It's real bad for our native birds who just aren't used to having predators around like that. But anyway, it's a whole thing. I could get into, but that's not the point here. I'm just saying that if this was a cryptid, like typical cryptids, I think tend to be like something that is, I don't know. Like for Loch Ness, for instance, it's meant to. People believe it's some kind of dinosaur or something that's it's not just something that's been introduced there that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
It's something that's extinct or people don't think is real. So if this was to be a cryptid, per se, going off of just that loose definition that I just came up with, this would mean that this is some kind of creature that either is meant to be extinct or we don't know to, like, it's a new thing. Yeah. In which case, it's probably been here for a long time, and that's kind of a big deal if it's a mammal, if it's a cat, because it's a mammal and stuff. And it's just anyway, it's just interesting.
I mean, that's what we were talking about back with the Mohammed episode, and I still don't know if that's how you say it, but I'm just going to stick with it. Is that I guess the two theories coming off the back of that people still have is that it is some kind of primate that's survived, or it's something that escaped from somewhere. Which, hearing about this, that's probably where I'd lean to first. Be like, oh, if it's just a tiger or a panther or something. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but my first thought would be, it's probably just from a zoo.
Yeah.
But, I'm excited. I don't know anything about this, so this is...
Well, we've been talking for about 10 minutes now, and I still haven't really... So, let's see if I can get through this. So, I'm basically, because of... the little amount of prep I'm doing, I'm basically just going to be reading a big chunk of this article out, and you can add in anything you want or comment or anything. But if you're interested in it all, I strongly recommend checking out the article. We'll try and remember to put it up in the description.
Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes in our Discord and
It just basically gives you the gist of everything. So, as I mentioned, the first. And I'm going to butcher names and everything like that, but
in typical Collectania fashion.
The first sighting of this cat was 4 a.m. apparently on July the 18th, 1977, when Frances Clark opened the blinders in her home and saw something she could hardly believe. I looked again and thought it can't be. She recalled at the time, but it was definitely a tiger. Clark was certain, I know a pig when I see one, and I know an Alsatian as well, but it was definitely a tiger. Fearing it may attack school children, she informed police. After a few hours of inquiring, police called the search off because the city's 3 registered tigers, 2 at Orana Park and 1 at a circus, I guess it was around there, were all accounted for.
Yeah.
So, right off the bat, either this lady's crazy or there's a tiger loose.
Yeah.
It's kind of... She seems like very... because it does just seem very much like definite, like, I saw a tiger.
We didn't find anything.
Yeah, but her story was mainly discredited until four days later. Paw prints and droppings from what a vet described as a large cat were discovered on an obscure part of Pines Beach in North Canterbury, not far from Clark's home.
Shoot. So it was actually verified that this was some sort of cat.
Well, they have a picture here, which one of the paw prints that were discovered, and this is great.
Great podcast content for you guys.
There we go. So this is the paw print they found on the beach.
It's about the size of someone's hand.
Yeah, and they've placed someone's hand down there. Well, someone's placed their hand down there.
Yeah. Cut off someone's hand and put it down next to it.
So an intense search began. A military helicopter surveyed the beach from the air, carrying an Orana Park worker armed with a tranquilizer gun on the ground. On the ground, armed police and pig hunters scoured the beach and forest. Police now genuinely believed a tiger was on the loose. Inspector John Peering said after the search's first day, he believed someone had exercised a tiger at the beach, or it had gone there of its own free will, but then left. So I don't know who's exercising tigers on beaches.
To exercise is going up for a morning jog with their tiger.
Yeah, just so everyone knows, it's illegal to own a tiger in New Zealand as a pet.
Isn't it illegal everywhere?
Well, I don't know.
Probably not everywhere, but most places. That's crazy, but...
I was thinking maybe they were thinking it's like the circus as but even then it's like... Yeah.
Would you really want to bring a tiger?
I don't know, but this is the 70s. Maybe things were a bit looser back then.
Yeah, some things were. Maybe tigers were.
Yeah.
But surely, like, it's interesting to me how their first go-to was that it was probably zoos, probably circus. If it's not one of these, then it probably wasn't a tiger until this evidence came up.
Yeah.
All right. Surely it's a possibility that a tiger just came from somewhere outside the city.
Yeah, but then I think they're checking, like, I think when they were checking, they would have been checking everywhere that was plausible. So I guess what you're saying is like they could have come from, like, I don't know, just somewhere like far away and just traveled that whole distance.
Yeah.
I think that's a possibility, but then I feel like if a zoo from, like, I don't know, where's Canterbury compared to like Christchurch or something? But like, let's just say for instance, Christchurch. If there was like a tiger from a zoo from one of those places and had escaped, I feel like someone would it could sort of become a big thing of like, okay guys, don't panic, but a tiger's escaped.
Yeah, it'll be in the news for sure.
But also the other issue is that if it's travelled a great distance, there's more like why would it only have just gotten seen at Canterbury? Why wouldn't it have been seen like all the way, like multiple sightings all the way through?
Especially if a zoo there knew about that it was missing. And, Oh, interesting.
Okay, so the 1977 search ended a few days after it began. It turned up nothing. It would not be the only unsuccessful cat hunt. Pearing said of the 1977 search that a tiger had escaped and was then recaptured. So I don't know, this is the one part of this article that confuses me. I think Pearing, they mentioned him, John Pearing was an inspector. I guess he was looking over the whole thing. So this is the one part of the article that confuses me. So he's saying that the tiger had escaped and was then recaptured. So I think he's assuming that like maybe the circus's tiger escaped and then they quickly captured it back and were just like hush about it and like, no, it was our tiger.
That's weird. Yeah.
But the Ministry of Agriculture's MAF senior vet H.G. Stockdale said if it was a hoax, then it was extremely well done. Too well. Another MAF vet, G. Skewers, said for a tiger to end up on the beach, it would have had to fall from the sky or swim here. An Orana Park staff member noted tigers had swimming strength and the possibility that a tiger had escaped from a passing ship and swum ashore should not be overlooked.
This is sounding like the Moho Man.
Yeah. I don't know, like things escaping.
A gorilla escaping from a ship and just...
Yeah, but I feel like, because that was back in the 1800s, wasn't it? When they...
Yeah.
So that seemed a little bit more likely that someone's like just sailing around with a gorilla.
Whereas here, when would you be sailing around with a tiger?
I don't know, maybe.
Cargo. It's interesting as well that they said there's...
Maybe we've got like a Madagascar situation.
Yeah, all these animals just... something's going on,
washing
man.
up.
But it's interesting that guy said that the only way that it could have got here was by swimming or by falling from the sky, not by land. So I'm guessing there's probably some terrain that it would have been hard to get through. Or
I think what he's just saying, because I don't think New Zealand has a lot of large cats even in captivity.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a large... And
the
amount that we do, they're all accounted for.
Yeah.
Like I would say that they've all got like... It's like... Yeah, if a large cat escaped, it would be a huge deal.
Mm.
So this is why they're taking it so seriously.
Yeah, totally.
But I think what they've come to the conclusion here is that it wouldn't have taken them very long to get up to date on all the tigers in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just going out on a limb. I don't even know how many tigers are in captivity. Well, I don't know how many are in captivity now, and it'd take a bit more research to try and figure out how many were in the 1970s. In the 70s. But I would say that they would have been able to contact, at least
call around and just see if anyone's missing a tiger.
I'd say there's some kind of registry if you're trying to, if a zoo wants to have a tiger and they have to
wants to breed tigers or something.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, probably.
So they're basically coming to the conclusion that swimming is probably the most likely thing if there was a tiger. Officials conducted further searches to prove the Canterbury big cat's existence in 2001, 2003 and 2006. The 2003 sighting was by far the most prominent. Ashburton truck driver Chad Stewart was on a Mayfield farm in early October 2003 when he said he saw a big black cat less than 50 meters away at the foot of a tussocky hill with a tail too long to be a dog's. I feel like that word that I just struggled with is probably a very simple word that I'm just not my brain's just not recognizing tonight. But this is the interesting thing, because this is when this is the first time that I've seen anyway where it's mentioned it being anything other than a tiger. It's suddenly changed now to being this is a large black cat, possibly similar to like a panther, kind of appearance. So this reflects more recent sightings.
Yeah,
like this is
because that's what I knew that it kind of was, a big black cat.
So in the 70s, the 1977 sighting was of a tiger.
Yeah.
And now it's suddenly changed, and I think all the sightings since then that I've seen anyway seem to be, and there are quite a few of them, seem to be not of a tiger, but more of like a puma kind of thing. Yeah. So this is interesting.
Yeah.
But also, this is suddenly like a tiger's kind of. My one note on this is that a tiger is kind of a little bit more obvious, I feel like, whereas a cat, or like a black cat, is kind of like, you sure you're seeing...
A black creature, of any sort, could be...
Well, yeah, one, it could be a dog, but he said that the tail was too long.
Yeah.
Or two, which I think is more... I feel like that's more of a thing that for panthers and pumas and stuff like that, because they have... I do think that they have quite long tails, if I'm not mistaken. But it just seems like that's something that you could easily like missee and like think that it's a lot bigger than it actually is. Whereas like it might just be a very large like feral cat. But whereas if someone's like, oh, I saw a tiger, it's a bit more like
it's very
like
you saw an orange and white tiger.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just me criticizing us.
This is Ashburton.
Huh?
This is in Ashburton?
Sighting was by far the... Ashburton.
Ashburton. We got a mate down there, Philip, one of our D&D buddies. This is Ashburton. After this, we're going to do some on-site looking around for us, reporting back.
Do like a video recording of them going around. Maybe conduct some interviews with some people.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Well, it says that is an Ashburton truck driver. It was on Mayfield Farm in early. Okay, so I don't know where that is. So it might not be in Ashburton.
Yeah.
It might just be that's where the truck driver came from. I don't know. Yeah. What's next? Oh yeah, an MAF investigator and an Arana Park staff member were dispatched to search for proof. The owners of the property paid for a helicopter to search the area. Still nothing was found. A biosecurity national advisor from MAF, Kerry Mulqueen, said that at the time he could not rule out a large cat having been smuggled into New Zealand. So
someone's illegally like getting cats, is keeping them as pets or keeping them as... Yeah.
This is more believable, I feel, if it's more something along the lines of a puma rather than a tiger. Now, smuggling in something like that, I don't know. I feel like a tiger would be something that someone would want to smuggle in more than
a panther or a puma.
Maybe, but then the thing is that I feel like it would be just maybe ever so slightly easier to smuggle in a puma just because they're a bit smaller.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Are pumas black?
I think they can be.
Yeah.
Because I think a puma, so puma is just I'm pretty sure puma is just another name for a cougar, which is just another name for a mountain lion, which is just another name for a Florida panther, or a catamount. There's a whole list of names. I collected up with all the... and I think
they can be
Black Panther is another thing.
Yeah.
So they're all kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
A jaguar as well, I think, is another one. That's kind of, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think a jaguar is just a panther, but like just another name for it or something, or a slightly different.
Because when I think
colouring.
jaguar, I think like spots, right?
Yeah. So
yellowish?
if I looked up a picture of a black panther, so I'm just holding on a sec, guys.
Great podcast content. They can hear the typing. Here we go.
Oh, and here's the movie.
Yeah, Black Panther. Yeah, but why are we searching that?
Here we go. So if I bring up a picture of a Black Panther, there's a lot of photoshopped ones.
Yeah, of course. And when I think Puma,
you can kind of see
like
that the colouring comes through a lot on them. See there? The markings are still there.
Oh, so they do have like jaguar-like spots.
They are, as far as I know, they are just a jaguar but their pigments are different.
Oh wow! Yeah.
It's more of like it's just a genetic thing. It's not like Anyway, okay, I think the last little bit I'll read out is this. 3 years later, in 2006, the Ashburton River mouth was combed by MAF investigator Caleb King after a couple with their grandson reported seeing an animal larger than a domestic cat. But as with all the other previous searches, nothing was found. So the rest of the article is just talking about like the belief in the big cat and how long it lives on and stuff like that. And I think they've got a little map here. Big cat sightings across South Island, which would be...
So those are the big ones that you mentioned, but there is...
So I'll show you a list.
So there has been quite a lot more just...
What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. About 18 sightings, if this map is accurate. A lot of them seem to be focusing around this one area here. Great podcast content here, guys. But you can see it spreads out further down near the bottom.
So centralised, like in the middle of Canterbury, and then as you get further away, there's...
Yeah. Well, I think that must be the beach sighting there.
Yeah.
But anyway. So, now that's just a brief bit of... a brief bit of history on it, right? Okay, so now the next bit I was going to bring us back to is the most recent sighting. Was last year, 2020.
Oh, you're kidding. Okay.
Yeah. It's fine to be mentioning everyone's names.
Yeah, I mean, it's online anyway, right?
Yeah.
I've been kind of laughing at everyone's names because their last names are very like skewers and they're like real like iconic kind of like investigator names and scientist names. It's good.
Okay, so apparently Jesse Ferry was hunting...
Fury? Yeah, it's kind of like...
Sorry if you ever listen to this, Jesse Ferry.
It's a good name, Jesse Ferry.
Yeah, it's a good name. I'm sorry.
I like it.
Okay, was hunting near Canterbury's Ashley Forest in September 2020 when he looked across the gully and saw something he couldn't make sense of. He took a high shot at the unknown creature he'd spotted. It darted off at speed, leaving him slightly unnerved and joking he would not go into the forest alone again. It was his first encounter with the supposed large cat or cats that roam the South Island, but certainly not his... Oh, it was his first, but certainly not his last. About a week later, Ferry went back hunting and saw the unexpected creature again, this time about 100 meters away. It was smaller than the one he had seen earlier, so that's a thing I want to draw attention to. So he saw one... what did it say? A week earlier?
Yeah. And a smaller one.
Yeah. Yeah. So he saw this creature, and so that looked like it appeared to be a large black cat, and then about a week later he sees one that seems smaller. So already we're like, it's either he didn't see it properly the first time, or there's multiple.
Yeah,
that's one thing.
Yeah.
And where was I? It was smaller than the one he had seen earlier, but this time it was running towards him, which is again is a bit strange. I don't know if that's I don't know for a fact, but I feel like that's not how normal like wild cats react. Generic wild cats. From about 50 meters away, Fury made a choice, and he shot it. At that moment, Fury had finally done what so many others over the years had failed to do. Produced evidence of Canterbury's supposed big cat or cats. Here's a photo of it. What? Now, before you see this, it doesn't look that impressive. It is just from this photo here, I'll show you, which again, I wish we could add these photos to the description. But you'll see it if you go to the
article. Go to the link in the description.
So here it is with up against his gun. It's obviously...
That is very disappointing.
Yeah, it is. But it's very obviously a large cat.
So it's a big cat, it's about the same size as a rifle.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it looks...
Well, I think there's a better picture over here.
It looks bigger than your domestic house cat, but
I mean, look at the size of its head there. It's actually it's a decent sized cat. That's definitely that's the thing where it's like it's a big cat.
Yeah.
Definitely not a tiger though. No. Definitely not a puma.
No. It looks like a black cat, bigger than your average house cat, just a little bit. But then you're right that it does the head. The proportions look slightly off than would be used to.
So
weird. I didn't know that they actually shot something.
Stretched out, the creature Fury shot was 1.05 meters long.
That's pretty long.
That's a pretty long cat. I don't have a tape measure. I was planning on measuring this out and then measuring our cat.
Your kitten?
Yeah, and no, she's getting she's getting there. Maybe measuring someone else's cat and actually seeing what that like. Trying to stretch
out someone's cat.
See what
Hey, do you mind if we just measure up your cat for you?
I don't know. I doubt they've included the tail in this. I hope they haven't included the tail.
No, that'll be dumb.
And I hope they didn't. They would have been including the legs, though. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Well, then yes, that photo that's on the page there.
Yeah. Would they have included the legs? Because if that because that's the body. That's massive.
It must be legs and tail.
It must be legs as well. That's
still a big cat.
And this is the area where I started getting I tried to look into research of how big the cats that people like a panther would be.
Yeah.
Panther or jaguar or puma.
That doesn't look like a panther.
I tried to figure out what the sizing and weight of those would be, and this is where I started getting a bit confused because I think it's different ways they measure it, and also possibly just mixing up and misunderstanding things. But I'll try and work through that with you soon. So it says that they're 1.05 meters long, weighed 11 kilograms.
This is that cat that he shot.
This is that cat.
Yeah,
11 kilograms. So it's a pretty
cat.
Decent cat, and I mean, I don't think that's particularly heavy, but I feel like for cats are normally fairly light.
Oh, maybe he's like your son at the moment. He wouldn't be 11.
I don't even know. Great father, aren't you? You lose track after a while.
Yeah.
After a few months, you just stop caring about that. As long as they're gaining weight and not losing it.
Look at how big
Yeah. So this is where for me it gets a bit confusing because it's trying to compare weights and stuff, and that's what I was trying to get into a bit more. But so it weighed 11 kilograms and had 14 millimeter long fangs. Now those are actually particularly big fangs. So we're talking about for a domestic cat.
Again, a bit bigger than your domestic house cat.
If this was your domestic cat, if this was your cat, you'd be pretty proud of it, I think, the size of it. But it's still...
It'd be pretty soft, like play fighting with it and stuff.
Yeah. But it's still not like... I think if anyone else, if there wasn't this whole thing about the big cats in Canterbury, and this was just someone shot this cat, I think they would just be proud of this wild cat that they killed.
Yeah.
For anyone who loves cats, by the way, who's listening, they are pests. And we love them too. It's just
yeah.
It's a difficult thing, but it has to happen.
Yep.
So this obviously isn't the thing people are saying.
No.
But I do find it very interesting that he saw a bigger
one. Yeah.
This is already a big cat. he's found a bigger one. So what I'm wondering is like, is there some kind of, I don't know. I'll talk to you. I'll get into my.
But again,
theories later.
it'll be like a ideal world. We could take everyone at everything people say is truth. But could it be the case that he just saw this cat a week ago, lost it, saw it again, shot it, and then was like, "Oh, pretty sure I saw a bigger one." And it's
Possible.
kind of just escalated.
Possible.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like that's the case with a lot of sightings of like
any cryptid.
any
much.
cryptid. But so anyway, the article continues. Despite nearly 20 publicly reported sightings of large, so there's 20.
Yeah.
Nearly 20.
Nearly 20.
Reported sightings of large cats over the years between Cromwell and Hamish Springs, no one had ever produced a definitive answer to the mystery. But finally, Ferry believed he had one of the creatures, and more importantly, he had its DNA. It meant there would finally be an answer on exactly what this 11 kg creature was.
What?
Okay, yeah. So this is where the article gets you to like read on, and it tells you all the other stuff that I explained beforehand.
Yeah.
So it just gives you a bit of history on it.
Do we find out what this thing was then?
Oh, and there's actually better photos of stuff that I haven't actually read through the entire article. I read through some other stuff, some other sightings that people had seen. There are better photos. People have actually taken photos of these large cats that they've seen. So here's one over here. So
flip.
So that's actually
Another cat.
This photo
Hamish Springs.
supposedly what am I saying? Supposed big cat was taken near Hamish Springs late 2020. So last year. That does. I mean, this is a pretty bad shot and it's zoomed right in, but it does kind of look like it could be a panther from that distance.
It also could be a house cat.
Could be, but it does seem pretty big.
Yeah, no, it does.
But like, I mean, if I saw that off in the distance, I'd probably freak out.
Yeah, you would. There's like a black shape.
Here's another one.
You.
This is 2006. So that's very hard to make out. But
oh my goodness. It's like a hillside and I cannot even see where the cat is. There's a red circle.
Yeah, there's a red circle around it, but it's just a large... Well, you assume to be large anyway because it's standing out and you can see it. Because that's the thing, is that I feel like normal sized cats are pretty good at hiding and stealthing around. So if something's big enough that it stands out, that people are able to see it from this distance and take a photo of it, you kind of assume it must be pretty big.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just another picture. This is quite off in a distance, on this like near this cliffside. Someone's taking a photo of what appears to be a black cat. Yeah, very large black cat. Okay. So the DNA is right at the end. The Canterbury cat phenomenon is not straightforward. Department of Conservation DOC Senior Ranger Dean Nelson describes the mystery as a bit of a puzzle. There are many feral cats in New Zealand, a lot more than what people think.
Yeah.
Nelson says, however, most caught by DOC are tabbies, whereas many, but certainly not all, of the big cat sightings are of black cats. Nelson, who has been with DOC since 1987, has never caught a wild black cat. And although he suggests a large cat in the natural wilderness can look bigger than it actually is, he adds, it doesn't explain all of what people are seeing necessarily. Asked about the 11 kg cat shot by Jesse Ferry later in 2020, Nelson says its size is unusual. The biggest caught by DOC are mostly 7 to 8 kgs. So there's a bit of comparison.
Yeah.
I should have read that. I think I skipped right down to the bottom and was just like, okay, give me the DNA. Yeah. So there's a comparison.
So it is bigger than
this is
biggest.
This is the biggest that they normally catch is 7 to 8. So this is a big cat if it's 11.
So this is the biggest feral cat that they've kind of caught today.
Yeah. It's what it seems to be. Yeah, I really want to draw emphasis on that. This is DOC. The biggest caught by DOC. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the people that, I don't know. It's an oversimplification to say that they're kind of like the pest control of New Zealand. They play a bigger part in that, but they get into a lot of that. They're yeah. So the biggest that they have ever caught is between 7 and 8. So this is
big,
especially if you believe the fact that he saw a bigger one. It's like it's interesting. So was the 11 kg creature shot by Ferry a panther? The short answer is no. It's not a mountain lion either, or a tiger.
Yeah.
In an email to Ferry late last year, the managing director of Wellington-based DNA testing company Wilder Lab NZ confirmed the result of a DNA test on the creature. He wrote simply and straightforwardly, "Just a standard cat by the looks of the DNA." Wilkinson saw Ferry's creature on stuff, and his company offered to test the DNA for free.
Okay. That's very anticlimactic.
Yeah. I've there's a bit more here, but I don't know. I might as well finish the article. I haven't read this. In the end, the test essentially fulfilled Occam's razor, the old principle that says the simplest explanation is usually the correct one. It was simply a cat. The big one has eluded us this time, Wilkinson joked when he emailed Ferry the DNA test results. Asked this month how he feels about the cats now, Ferry says he will just keep shooting them. They are pests on the block where he hunts. It's just a cat, just a normal cat, he says.
This is the guy who supposedly saw a bigger one.
Yeah. Now,
just a cat, eh?
Jump over to my notes. This is where I started getting a bit confused with the weights and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Okay, so I was comparing sizes and lengths of cats, and it's really hard to find these details, and so that's why I'm not sure how accurate they are. So I have noted down here that stretched out, the creature was the cat was 1.05 meters long, weighed 11 kilograms, and had 14 millimeter long fangs. Now, leopards, if my research is correct, average around the 31 kgs. It's probably different for the male to female difference. But, length for a jaguar, randomly I've got like different lengths for different creatures and different, but it's not super consistent.
Yeah.
Oh no, here we go. Leopard. I've got that here. The leopard length is between 90 to 160 centimeters. So now that's about 0.9 meters to 1.6 meters, right?
You're the builder. Yeah. I don't know anything. Yeah, okay. It sounds about right.
Yeah, okay. So if it's late at night, there's a good chance I'm getting this all wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the math is straightforward here. So, but this would not be stretched out. So this would be long standing up.
Yeah.
So this cat, this is the part where it starts getting a bit like iffy for me, because it's like, so this cat laid out, stretched out, could be longer than the smallest of leopards.
Yeah.
But not well standing. So I think that's what I'm going off. So I think if it was standing and not stretched out and using its legs, it would be a lot shorter. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much shorter because we don't have that information.
Yeah.
Length of a jaguar is between 1.1 and 1.8 meters. Yeah. I have noted down here Mancoon.
Yeah.
If you've heard of a Mancoon before. Yeah. So it's a very large cat breed. Their lengths go between 0.48 to... Right, is that correct? Yeah, so 48 to 100 centimeters, so 0.48 meters to 1 meter.
So the biggest will be about.
I'm just gonna make I'm pretty sure that I'm correct on this. I don't use centimeters a lot, so I'm just gonna make sure.
This will all be edited out. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, so 1 centimeter equals 0.01 meter. Yeah, so that's correct.
Yeah. So
I get nervous whenever I'm doing maths publicly. It's like even when it's like simple stuff, it's just I start like freaking out. Anyway, so that's within the size. Okay.
Mancoon was about the size of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this thing's a bit over a meter, but then that's stretched out. So that's within the size of a Mancoon. That's within the parameters of that. So, and the Mancoons, I'm pretty sure, tend to be quite fluffy cats as well. Right? And I don't know. I just the picture.
Do we have Mancoons in New Zealand?
I think so. I'm pretty sure they're just a cat breed. I think they're just expensive.
Yeah, true. That's probably the case.
But that's far more likely to be like. I'm just wondering if maybe my one theory, and this is all anticlimactic, and I knew it would be. This is. I'm sorry, guys.
No, this is good.
One of my theories is maybe that it is a Mancoon or a breed like that. There are other breeds. I think I was meaning to add those down to my notes.
Like a Mancoon crossed with another breed.
Well, there are other breeds of cats that you can get domestically that look kind of. They're a bit bigger than normal cats, and they look kind of like a leopardy sort of print on them.
Yeah.
Or I think you can get them with like I can't remember if they're more leopard or more like stripes and stuff. But I do wonder if maybe it was something like that has because I mean I don't know. I'm just thinking of like maybe that seems a bit more believable that someone might have like misseen that like off in the distance or something.
Just one of the bigger cat breeds.
Yeah, and been like maybe that's a tiger or something, not knowing what it is because they don't. I don't know,
if it's got the right
kind of an exotic cat. Maybe that seems plausible to me, but not like just because it's like there is no other explanation so far of what the tiger sightings. So I'm wondering if it's something along those lines. I should have gotten the names for them because I was doing some research on cats and stuff. But for some reason, I've only marked down Mancoons. I think it's because there's some of the sizing makes more sense then. But then, like, I'm wondering if maybe that's then sort of kind of bred with a lot of the other feral cats around or wild cats around that area, and that's sort of made this like
monster cat.
Yeah. I do find it very interesting that the cat was running towards him when he shot. Yeah. Normally a wild cat would run away, I would think.
Yeah.
So shows possibly a bit of aggression. I don't know, a little bit. Oh, okay, yeah. So this is adult cat's nose to tail. Ian, the weight though. This is the other thing for a Mancoon. For a male, it's between 5.9 to 8.2 kgs, so that's on average. So this is big for a Mancoon for its weight. And female, it's 3.6 to 5.4 kgs for an adult.
Yeah.
So
it just seems like some sort of big crossbred, like, monster of a cat. And it's interesting that they confirmed it was definitely just your normal feral cat. So it is... This is probably on the books as one of the largest feral cats found in New Zealand. Yeah. Well, I mean, you get it with stories and mysteries and cryptid sightings like this a lot. But why don't... They had a body. Why didn't they get someone to specifically figure out what type of cat it was?
Yeah, I know. That's it's a bit difficult. I wonder if that's what was meant... I wonder if that information was actually there, but they just didn't... Like I don't know, maybe because it was sent to the guy who shot the cat. So I'm wondering if maybe they just didn't bother sharing that information. But still, that seems like some key information that we should know.
I guess a lot of people don't take these things as serious as we do here on God Tell of Everything. So maybe it's just like, it's just a cat. Who cares? Yeah, Flint. I didn't realize that was last year.
Yeah, so it was, not really very long ago at all. Here we go. This is the cat I was thinking of. But it doesn't seem as big. This is the Bengal cat.
And that's the one that's kind of got coloration.
Yeah, but it's more of a
Yellowish.
It's more of a leopardy sort of. Let's see. Okay, this is all in inches, so this is going to be impossible. But here, if I showed you a picture, it's not going to be impossible. But I think it's just information that I should have done ages ago. But
Totally.
So
Yeah,
like this
I've
sort
seen
of,
Bengal cats like that. They've got a very exotic fur.
Yeah, and I'm wondering like, what would it be like if someone mixed like a Bengal cat with like a
Mancoon.
a Mancoon or something, and maybe that's what they first saw, and maybe that's sort of mixed in with, I don't know. You can make up whatever theories you want, but the thing is that even though it's a bit anticlimactic, sort of ends with just the DNA test comes back and the big cat's a shot.
Cat. Yeah.
But there's still points here that just make this so confusing and hard to tell what's actually going on.
Yeah.
Because the first sighting, you either completely discredit it and say it didn't happen, and someone faked the paw prints on the beach.
And the droppings?
Yeah. Well, they just said it was a large cat. They didn't specify what. I don't think they mustn't have figured that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's someone. If you do believe them, someone saw a tiger, and it was never found.
Yeah. And then someone saw.
And then since then, there have been large cats sighted all throughout
Canterbury. Yeah.
Canterbury. I think the majority of them being black cats, and now we've got this abnormally large cat, like large cat for even the bigger breeds. Mm-hmm. Abnormally large even for the bigger breeds, and possibly the biggest cat, feral, wild cat that's been shot in New Zealand. I don't know what the stats are on that. I should have looked that up. But I would say it's the biggest.
Yeah,
by far, I'd say it's the biggest.
You've got feral cats out there that would attack.
Yeah,
like it's pretty...
it seemed like it was being aggressive.
Because I know that we have people go hunting for wild pigs. That's a big thing in New Zealand. There's wild pigs around the place. That's mainly what people hunting as a hobby would go and shoot. And I knew that we had wildcats, but again, smaller things that would probably run and hide and you wouldn't see much of. So this is kind of like a wildcat that would act the way a wild pig would act and attack and try and...
And at the same time, with all that, he also claims he saw a bigger one. Yeah, a week earlier. So, if you believe all the sightings, it makes it very. I mean, yet you can explain away a lot of, especially the part of him seeing a bigger one, as we discussed before. Yeah. It could just have been a mistake. But that you go back to the tiger, it's very. Are these things connected or not?
Or are they just separate? There was a tiger and now there's cats.
But it just seems convenient that we have abnormally large cats
all around Canterbury.
And someone before that claims they saw a tiger. I'm not trying to say that a tiger's bred with domestic cats.
With a tiger and
I'm
a
just saying that.
Oh.
I'm just saying that it seems rather convenient that people are seeing these large cats, and now we've got proof of a very large one.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like there's more to it than just it was just a particularly large wildcat and the tiger sightings were fake.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more to it than just that. I feel like it's a bit too convenient.
Yeah.
But yeah. I would love to hear, or if anyone who's listening, if you've got theories of your own.
Here's what let's do. There's just some crazy guy that's been around from the 70s who just has all these, he's secretly hiding out with all these wild exotic cats. And there's just been, over the years, he loses one or the other, quickly goes, finds it, gets it back down. Just some random guy.
You reckon he's
cats.
You reckon he's doing some genetics stuff?
He's like a mad scientist guy in Canterbury, genetically altering cats. Oh man. No, it's I find it tricky with stuff like this because in all seriousness, I love cryptids. We both do. We both love stories like this, and I find myself a lot more times than not jumping to believe it and jumping to be like, "Oh, this is awesome! It must happen. There's something here." But I guess there is something here. There was a big feral cat that was found, which I completely didn't know about before this. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's that little niggling in my head that's like, maybe those 20 people didn't see things. Maybe they're just mistaken. I mean, human error.
At the same time, if you invited me, like, paid for me, just because that's the only way I'll end up going down to Canterbury. But like, if I went to Canterbury, let's just say, I feel like if I had to go to Canterbury and go for like a bushwalk or anything, I would be sketching out.
Yeah, flip, yeah.
Even if not because of like a tiger, just the fact they've got flipping huge cats and they seem to be
the norm.
Yeah, and like it seems that just the idea of like, I don't know, even if it just I might be misinterpreting the way it was written, but it seemed to me like it was being aggressive, running towards people, possibly, at least just not being afraid, and that's, you know, especially if there's bigger ones. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's I can be as skeptical as I want, but I'd still be sketching out, I think.
Totally. No, I would be too. Oh, that was
good. Glad to get that out of the way.
No, bro, that was good.
Sorry, I'm not great at reading out and like trying to put it in my own words as I'm going through. So so basically we'll try and put up the article.
Yeah, totally. I'll put the stuff article up there.
Not just stealing someone else's words. Go there and give them the clicks.
Yeah.
And just thanks for listening.
No, it was good. It's very interesting because we've done the Mohammed, we've done the big cats. These are things that very New Zealand. It's interesting. We don't have like crazy alien mythical beasts, but we have like a bigger primate, a bigger cat.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing.
It's a bit more like feasible.
Yeah.
Almost.
Which makes it kind of a bit more... It doesn't make it as exciting when you're going through and you're just like, it's just a normal cat with the DNA, but then But then it's when you really start, like, thinking about it, like, critically, like, how does... It makes it more interesting because it is more... Yeah, as you're saying, it's more feasible. But then it's also just like... Yeah, it's just... Why is it so big?
Yeah.
Why is there so many of them being so big?
But then why is it so elusive at the same
Yeah.
time? Yeah. No, that was good. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Thanks for preparing that.
I feel like it's a lot more interesting when you live in the country.
Yeah, totally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know if you liked us talking about big cats. But I kind of like this. I like doing an odd mystery episode every now and again.
Yeah.
We'll have to
You're
keep
doing
it
the
up.
next one.
Yeah, totally. No, I've got some ideas.
I'm definitely open to keep doing these every now and then.
Have a look around.
I'm just horrible for procrastinating. I'll end up putting it off for ages. But if I know I can just find articles and just read them out,
having a discussion,
just be real lazy with them and just discuss it, then I'm definitely down for that.
Sounds good.
Yeah. No, sweet.
Thanks so much, guys. Be sure to check us out on our socials as always, and we'll put the link for this, as we said, in the description. Our Discord link will be there, and our email address if you want to get in touch with any feedback. If you're in New Zealand, may have seen a biggish looking cat before, we'd love to hear about it.
Yeah.
Or any kind of insights about anything that we talked about, any ideas or theories, we would absolutely love to hear about them. We might need to reach out to our friend Phil in Ashburton, get him to do some on the site.
Yeah.
We'll see if he's seen a big cat. But yeah, thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you next episode.
Sweet.